appreciate you giving us your time during these, very, very difficult circumstances. First and foremost, can you, describe your initial reaction to the discovery of these mass graves at the Nasir Medical Complex in Khan Yunis, and also, how the local community and the people of Gaza in general, from the conversations that you have, have been affected by this revelation, and the knowing and understanding, just the amount of trauma and the amount of, bereavement and siege that they've been subjected to by Israeli occupying forces.
Let me put it this way: the atrocity is still going on. It's the uncovering of mass graves, is something that what people were warning about, as though the state of Israel was murdering those people. Many families or family members and relatives of those that were found murdered expressed concerns that the state of Israel is slaughtering patients in a Nasser hospital, because they did that before in Shifa Hospital and they got away with it. They did that before in Mahmadani Hospital and they got away with it. So it's just another Israeli crime that is viewed as just another one of those crimes that Palestinians in Gaza have been subjected to since the beginning of the genocide. The families, the families of the murdered Palestinians and the bodies were found, do not have time to actually start mourning. They do not have time to actually. They do not have time to deal with this atrocity because they are desperate, surviving each and every day of the ongoing genocide for 6 months. I can tell you, people are exhausted. People are have been put on a survival mode for so on. So this kind of new discovery is something that the Palestinians themselves in Gaza have been telling us about it while it's happening. Now the call for the investigation and shedding a light on this particular atrocity is being treated in the exact same way as each and every single atrocity committed by Israeli criminals. Which, instead of calling upon Israeli government to hand over the criminals who committed this crime, we call for an investigation of an Israeli crime. And when we call for an investigation, we give the chance for those Israeli criminals to get away with this crime. Every single criminal that participated in the murder of the bodies that were found in this particular mass grave in Khan Yunis, every is recorded. The Israeli government or the Israeli army has the data, the visual data, the names, the ranks of each and every single criminal that participated in this atrocity. So we do not need investigation. We need handing out those criminals. Of course, when you invite a criminal, when you give the criminal a chance, and by telling them we are investigating this conduct, that's the end of the story. Once again, I look at it in the context of Israel's criminal behavior that have been conducted in Palestine for more than 75 years. The precedent of committing atrocities and then getting away with it goes through investigation. If you read about one of the most famous atrocities committed by the founders of the State of Israel in a small village called Deir Yassin, instead of demanding that the criminals that murdered those civilians in the community and eliminated almost everyone, instead of demanding that those criminals need to be handed, there was a call for investigation, and each and every one of those criminals have died peacefully in their beds. And the criminals that committed the crime in Nasser Hospital, or every single Israeli criminal that participated in the genocide and atrocities, if things go on according to the records, they will never get a chance to face justice. Another thing, like, this is the insensitivity of international community, especially those who might who claim that they are conducting themselves from a good ethical place. When you demand when you demand investigation rather than accountability and justice, you throw the family of the murdered Palestinian or the Palestinian victim in a place where they have to relive the trauma over and over and over and over again as long as that investigation is going on. The outcome of the investigation has never been about handing over an Israeli criminal to justice. So instead of focusing on the investigation of the crime, the data is there. The names of the criminals are there. Every single Israeli soldier that was involved in this atrocity in a Nasser hospital is recorded, has a name, has a rank, and so on. The demand should be like for the state of Israel to hand over all that data and then hand over those criminals to a court that can actually sentence them for the atrocities they are committing. When we demand investigation, just like imagine like the memory of the atrocity of the Sharpeville massacre is still present up until today and will stay present. It's exactly like demanding the apartheid regime to conduct an investigation of that massacre. And then when they, like, actually apartheid authorities investigated the massacre and they found no wrongdoings with every single criminal that was responsible for murdering the protesters. So it goes in the exact same way. Like when crime happens, it's time for justice. It's not time for investigation. But investigation has always been used as an alternative to justice. And like I do not know of a situation where an Israeli criminal was actually held accountable and sentenced for any crime that they committed. So criminal behavior, genocide is not an invitation for investigation. Genocide is an invitation for handing over every single member responsible, took part in that genocide, to responsible authorities to get them to face justice.